Last week, I started by sharing a story with you where a couple of weekends ago I went to a men's retreat. And today I wanted to share something with you that happened at the men's retreat that I thought was really interesting to me in terms of my own growth and my own expansion. And what it was there was this exercise where they had you blindfolded and you were walking around, and then all of a sudden they invited me to sit in a chair, and so I sat down, and all of a sudden they started taking off my shoes, and I'm going like, okay. And the next thing you know, what started to happen was that I had somebody that was basically starting to wash my feet. And that was surprising to me. That was something that, it was just an interesting experience because the person that was doing it was like gentle, compassionate, caring, and you could tell that he was really, really skilled at doing this. And it was this amazing experience. And I was sitting there and I was trying to take all this in, and it felt really, really good, and it felt really sacred, it felt really holy, and yet there was another part of me that was like resisting it. And I just found that to be interesting. I'm like, how can I have this experience like at the same time? Like there's a part of me that is so enjoying this holy act, as many of you know, the story in the Bible where Jesus washes all the disciples' feet. And I knew that. So it's not like I wasn't aware of what was happening in the moment, but then there was also this part of me that was going like, uh-oh. And I was just noticing this, And all of a sudden I could feel, emotionally, I could feel my walls go up. I was like, uh-oh, right? Warning, warning, warning. And it was like, I was just fascinated by this. Like, why is this happening? Like, why am I not able to receive this beautiful gift that this person is giving me? Why am I having a hard time receiving it? Because I so desperately wanted the connection, the love, but my body and my mind were saying, And so I was sitting there feeling this and appreciating it, and in the same breath going like, yeah, I started to feel a little bit uncomfortable. And the more I sat there, the more I started feeling uncomfortable, and I was going like, wow, this is interesting. And it ended, right? And I was sitting there and obviously acknowledged the person and gave the person a great big hug, but it really stuck with me. I'm like, why is that? Why can't I do this, right? Why can't I just receive this? And I was journaling about it later on in the day, and the thought that came through my mind was this idea of just actually not being able to receive. And then I had this other thought as I'm journaling about this, and I thought, I wonder if this is what God feels like when God's giving us all of her love and all of her passion and everything, and we're not able to receive it. So the more I thought about that, the more I had to really start looking at my own life and start going, okay, when I first started my spiritual journey, what I noticed was I really, really struggled to believe that I was even worthy enough to receive the love of God because of my background, because of my history, and because of the way I was born and raised. Certainly in traditional Christianity, the last thing that you were taught was how to receive the love of God, because after all, you were born in original sin and you were a sinner, and. Everybody know those stories? A few of us do, right? And so what I had to learn how to do over the course of time, and I'm still learning, by the way, I don't have it all figured out yet, but what I had to learn how to do over time was how to let this light in. And that's the purpose, and that's the whole focus of our talk today. And what I want to share with you is this took time. It didn't happen all at once. It's not like all of a sudden I was like, oh, I can do this. I can just accept all the love that God has for me in this moment, and I walk around and I'm always open and receptive. Because the truth is, it seems to me like what happens is it goes like this. It goes like there's times when I'm really good at it, and then there's times when I struggle with it. And for me, what I've also realized, it's not like God It's not like the traditional Christian view that sits there and tells me, well, if you follow these 10 rules, then God is going to shine upon you and give you all of his love. I am way past that. I have been for quite a long time. But the point that I'm making is that my belief and my understanding, and it's not even a belief anymore, it's a knowing, is that the truth is God's love is always there, always. It's kind of like gravity. It's on. And the only thing that my job is to do is to basically get out of the way. And it took me a while to fully understand that. It took me a while to understand who and what I am. And it took me a while to really trust and believe that this love is always, always, always there. And at times it still does, right? And more importantly, what I realized is that the best thing that I could do, honestly, is just get out of the way. Stop it. And what I mean by that is quit telling myself for some reason that I'm not worthy to receive God's love. Because I promise you, I promise you, I promise you, I promise you from the bottom of my heart, there is no love that's being withheld from you. That is not happening. There is no love that's being withheld from you. That's not how it works. That's not how this thing that we call these different dimensions, this process that we go through in experiencing God, that's just not how it works. That's not in the cards. And I know that there's people out there that want you to believe that, but what I'm sharing with you is my experiences. That was never the case, ever the case. So Eric Butterworth talks about this, and he says, you're not striving to get more God into you, but to get more of you out of the way. Isn't that great? So that the light of God can shine through. So again, but to get more of you out of the way so that you can receive it. And when he says more of you, in my opinion, really what that is, that's the ego's way of trying to convince you that you're not divine. Then your ego is the thing that's telling you you're not, right? In the book, The Way of Mastery, any Way of Mastery fans here? Might be one or two. Yeah, a bunch of hands went up. I love that book. To extend love, you must first allow yourself to be loved. To let the light shine forth, you must first let it in. Isn't that kind of backwards of everything that we've been taught? What have we been taught? The first thing you need to do. You need to start loving. 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 And yet, clearly, Eric Butterworth and clearly The Way of Mastery are saying, no, the first thing you need to do is let it in. So in other words, it's a process that we go through where we start to understand who we are and that we're actually worthy of this love regardless of anything else like that, because it is who and what we are. It is who and what we are. And Unity teaches, of course, this idea about opening the door to the soul when Charles Fillmore says, prayer is not to change God, but to change ourselves, that we may let more of God's light and love flow into our lives. Are you kind of getting the picture? Like this whole thing is about letting it in, letting it in, letting it in, letting it in, right? And that's what spiritual growth is. And that's why I love Unity, because we are actually engaging in the process of our own spiritual growth and development. Because what it is, it's we're removing all the blocks, all the fears, all the old beliefs that keep us from receiving God's love. Why? Because we don't believe we should receive it. And if I were to sit down with each and every one of you, most of us would sit there and say, well, let me tell you all the bad things. Now, hopefully, it's not too bad. But when I first started, I could give you a laundry list of stuff on the reasons why I shouldn't be ready to receive God's love. Just ask me, I could tell you that. But the more I go down my own path, the way I go down my own journey, the more I'm just starting to realize every single time I come into one of those things and think, well, why shouldn't I be worthy of receiving God's love? It's just absolute, fill in the blank, garbage. It's garbage. It's absolutely garbage, right? Myrtle Fillmore said, you do not have a spirit, you are spirit. A child of God, and therefore you don't inherit sickness or fear, you inherit the light. That is who you are. That's who you are. You're the light. But we forgot that. In my opinion, we came down here very intentionally to forget it, but then I think, especially people that do stuff like this, the stuff that we're doing this morning, we knew we were going to remember. We knew that we were going to remember. And so part of our job, if you will, is the process of doing your own healing, doing your own work, and removing all the stuff that's telling you that you're separate from God, right? And it helps to remember that it's always there. It's always, always, always there. Always. When I think about that, I think of Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison. Most of us know the story. And he could have left bitterness close him off because of all of the harm that was done to him. But instead, he decided to let it in. And when he was released from prison and became the president, everyone around him said, what should they do with the people that put him in jail? What did everybody tell him to do? Go after him. Go get him. Throw him in jail. Do the same thing that they did to you. And guess what Mandela said? That's not going to heal anything. That is not going to heal anything. The same energy that started this process is not going to complete the process. It's not going to heal it. It won't change it. I'm not going to have anything to do with it. That's what Mandela said. And instead, what he said was, when we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. I'm going to say that again. When we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission. So in other words, he didn't attack, he didn't go after them, he didn't do anything. He forgave them. And then he proceeded to change the consciousness of, at least the beginning of the consciousness of that country, right? He opened himself up to forgiveness, to reconcile, to love, and that light transformed not just him, but an entire nation. So here's the question that I leave with you to contemplate. Where are you resisting the light? Where are you resisting the love? Maybe it's showing up in a relationship where trust feels hard, like it did for me at the retreat. Maybe it's in your own self-worth, believing that you don't deserve joy or healing. Or maybe you feel like you have done something so heinous in this lifetime that you should never be forgiven. You should never be let off the hook about something that happened years ago, and you're still beating yourself up over and over and over again for something that happened years ago. And as I always say, it's like you're leaving yourself up on this cross of self-shame, blame, guilt, and judgment for whatever reason, and you struggle to forgive yourself. Or you offer yourself grace, or you're able to offer yourself compassion. It's these walls that we build, fear, doubt, shame, control. All of these things are keeping the light out. They do, because it can't come in, because you've got this wall here. And those walls, just know this, and I really hope you take away this morning, away from our little chat, that these walls aren't permanent. They're not. But the way that they're changed are with you. They're habits. That's all these are. They're just thought habits that keep showing up again and again and again. I've got to beat myself up. I got to beat myself up. I can't forgive myself. I can't forgive myself. I can't forgive myself. Just know that can change. And in fact, I would invite anybody in here that knows of something that they're carrying. I just want you to imagine, to go inside of your heart and just imagine turning it over to God and saying, here you go, God. I'm done with this. And if you want to do that, you can do that right now. And I'm going to keep talking, but you can certainly do that. And so these are the different things that come up. These are the different things that block us, that keep the light from us, right? And of course, once we have that question, where are you resisting the light? Then the next question is, great. Well then, Mike, can you please tell me how to let it in? I get how I'm blocking it, but then how do I let it in? And I just want to share with you a few thoughts that I have about this, because they've been really helpful in my own journey. And these are some tools, and I'm going to start off with what I think are probably the two most powerful tools that you can use when it comes to letting the light in. Anybody want to guess? Somebody said meditate. I heard that. You're in the ballpark. Pray. I heard that. Nature? Oh, I love that. Of course. Surrender? Yeah. Breathing? Yeah, these are all great practices, all of them. But I want to go a little bit deeper. How about self-forgiveness and grace? Nothing blocks the light coming into you more than you. And that is caused by you holding on to old pain. And my invitation to you is to let yourself off the cross once and for all. Let it go. Let yourself off the hook. Let go of the self-blame, the shame, the guilt, the judgment from the past. And that comes from self-forgiveness and from grace. Because again, where is that coming from? It's not coming from God. I promise you. it's coming from you. And when you can forgive yourself and offer yourself grace, and to me, grace is just another level of forgiveness. It's a complete level of forgiveness. It's just letting go, right? And my experience has been that the level of the ability for me to able to forgive myself and to offer myself grace is in total proportion to the level of my own healing. I had to forgive myself. I had to offer myself grace to be able to say, it's okay. Yeah, I know I did that. It's okay. It's okay, right? And the next one is self-compassion. Self-compassion is right in the same line as forgiveness. Self-compassion allows me to care for myself when I struggle. Yeah, we're human. We have hard days. It's not always easy down here, is it? It's not. So self-compassion allows me to still offer myself love when I struggle, or love when I fall down, when I make mistakes and I don't want to, and I want to keep myself on the cross. That's what self-compassion does. It's the act of looking at myself and simply acknowledging, hey, it's okay. You're okay. You're okay. I see you. That's what self-compassion does for me, right? And then we fall in the greatest of them all, which is self-love. And in some cases, it is by far and can be the most difficult. To me, what self-love has meant is the ability to forgive myself and embrace all of me. And when I say all of me, it doesn't mean just the good parts. It means the bad parts. It's being honest with myself and looking at me as an entire being and saying, I love you. All of you. All of the parts. I love all of you. It allows me to look at everything and not deny it, not run from it, not hide from it. It allows me to embrace the entire thing. And when I can do that, then all of a sudden, I notice myself that my healing journey accelerated, because now I'm not in denial of anything. Nothing. What do you think? Did I miss anything? Amen. In closing, I really just want to say that the light is not something that you need to chase. You don't need to chase it. It's already shining. It's shining around you. It's shining within you. It's already here. And all that is required to have this experience is just the courage to open the windows to your soul and say, come in. You're welcome here. Love to have you. Love to join in the party. Love to dive in, right? Because when you let that in, fear, has no place. No place at all. And when you let the light in, healing rushes in to meet you. That's what happens. And when you let it in, the love of God carries you, just as we heard all along, but maybe we haven't had that experience in our life. But that's what it allows you to do. So this week, when you face a challenge, maybe you could whisper to yourself, I've come up with a few affirmations that may help, or maybe you could create your own. How about I let the light in this moment, right here, right now, even though I don't understand it, even though I'm not even sure how this works, it's okay, God. I'm still going to invite the light in. Or maybe when you feel afraid, maybe what you say to yourself is, God's light is my strength. God's light is my strength, even in the moment when I feel weak, right? You're not 100% sure, well, where am I going? How is this thing working out? Maybe you can tell yourself, the light of Christ goes before me and makes my way clear. By opening yourself up to these experiences, you're opening yourself up to playing this wonderful dance, playing in this infinite possibilities of spirit. And for me personally, I just don't think there's any better game in town. I think when you really start to figure this stuff out, when you really start to play with it, when you really start to engage with it, what I'm going to tell you is going to happen is that God is going to show up for you in spades. Why? Because of who and what you are. That's why. So, to the universe, to the entire universe, and you're saying, I'm going to start doing this. And because of who and what you are, the universe has to respond. It has to, because of who and what you are and the energy that you carry. And then all of a sudden, what you're going to notice is one day at a time, or 1 week at a time, or 1 month at a time, all of a sudden, you're going to go like, wow, I'm different. wow, I'm changing. Wow, I'm showing up differently than I used to. Wow, this is kind of getting to be fun. And then you start following this thing inside of you, which is going to guide you, and it's going to direct you on the next thing that's for you in your own path. And whether that's coming and hearing this crazy guy called Mike talk on a Sunday morning, or maybe there's a book, or maybe there's a class, or maybe there's a song, or maybe there's a poem that you want to write. You just don't know. It could be all of those things. And so just really honor your own path. As I always say this, each and every one of us inside of us, our soul knows exactly where you need to go in every single moment. And our only job is to listen to it and follow it. That's it. So, having said that, thank you for being the light that you are, for shining incredibly during these difficult times. I know it feels like it's crazy out there, but each and every one of you is doing an amazing job holding on to the light, being here at this time, and we are so honored and so privileged to have you here. So just know that I send you much love, many blessings, and we are really, really glad that you're here and joining us. Thank you. God bless. Namaste and Namaste. Thank you. And so now we just take our love offerings in our hands. I know some of you give online, and for everything that you give, your time, your talent, your treasure, just know how incredibly grateful we are for you. So thank you. And together we say, divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.